You think you remember. You think your past is solid, reliable, stitched into the fibers of who you are. But that's a lie you've been feeding yourself every day. Memory is not a mirror. It is a shadow, a faint echo you mistake for truth. Every recollection you cling to, every story you tell yourself about who you were, what happened, how you felt, it has been rewritten by your mind, reshaped by fear, desire, and convenience. And yet, you have built your identity upon it, trusting the untrustworthy, worshiping the illusion. How long have you been living in a story someone else wrote in your brain? Perhaps the worst part is that you never notice it. You parade your memories like trophies, unaware that each one is a theater, a stage, a performance you are convinced is reality. You remember the laughter, but the pain fades. You remember the betrayal, but the warmth of love lingers. You remember yourself as stronger than you were, braver than you were, happier than you were. But when the curtain falls, the audience leaves, and you are left with fragments. Fragments stitched together into a narrative your mind can sell to you as the past. And, like all good lies, it feels more real than reality itself. How many decisions have you made believing in a memory that never existed? How many emotions have you surrendered to ghosts of what your brain invented? Look into the void of your recollection and ask yourself, which of these faces, these voices, these moments were yours, and which were conjured to keep you sane, to keep you comfortable, to keep you alive? We tell ourselves the past defines us. We carry it like chains, expecting each link to bear the weight of truth. But what is truth, if not a story your neurons decided to believe? Synapses fire, chemicals surge, and suddenly you are convinced the lie is real. That heated argument you remember, it was likely exaggerated, that theater. Der moment that you recall. It may have been fleeting, distorted, already fading the moment it arrived. Yet in your mind it blooms eternal, immortal, sacred. Your brain has a habit of editing the past, of smoothing corners, of painting over mistakes so that you can sleep at night. And still, you mourn the very memories it has sculpted. Still, you chase ghosts of a reality that never existed. Do you think memory is neutral? Do you believe that remembering is an act of truth? No. It is violence disguised as continuity. Every time you retrieve a memory, you touch it, and in that touch, you destroy it. You rebuild it with your fears, your regrets, your dreams, your lies. You are a forger of your own history, a thief of your own existence. How much of your life have you truly lived? And how much have you only imagined living? Look back at yourself, at the version you adored or despised. That version is fiction, a manuscript rewritten by every passing day, by every thought you cannot control. Your brain is the cruelest historian. It does not preserve, it recreates. And it does so with a cunning so intimate that you cannot recognize it. Faces shift when you remember them. Voices change pitch. Laughter becomes louder. Pain sharper. Your mind decides what belongs, what is safe, what matters. And you accept it as gospel. You accept it because to reject it would be to reject your identity, the scaffolding of self you cling to. But remember this, the scaffolding is hollow, It supports nothing but illusion. Ask yourself this now. When you tell someone a story from your past, are you recounting reality, or are you performing a memory, shaped by your present, colored by your current self? Every retelling is a mutation, a distortion, a fiction packaged as fact. You embellish without knowing, omit without malice, adjust without intention. And yet, every listener swallows it. Every listener believes it. Every listener becomes complicit in the lie. This is how memories become myths, and myths become the chains you carry into every relationship, every decision, every moment of self-reflection. You imagine clarity when you look back, a precise map of your journey. But the map is drawn in smoke, never ink. You navigate by landmarks that shift, rivers that dry, skies that change their color without warning, and still you insist you remember. You insist you know. You insist the past has authority over your present, that it dictates the patterns of your heart and mind. But what you call memory is simply an invention of survival, a patchwork, a reconstruction, a lie dressed up as truth. And the more you trust it, the more you allow it to control you, the deeper you descend into a fiction masquerading as reality. How often have you said, "I remember when," as though you were holding the past in your hand, but it slips through your fingers like sand, reshaping itself with every thought. You do not remember. You perform remembrance. You act out recollection, improvise dialogue, invent scenery, and somehow convince yourself it is authentic. Every memory you treasure, every memory you fear, every memory you mourn or celebrate, already exists only in your imagination. And when you finally confront this, when you finally accept that your own history is not yours, what will you do with the freedom it offers, or the terror it demands? Memory is a cruel art. It seduces, entraps, deceives. It gives the illusion of permanence while eroding all certainty. And the paradox is exquisite. The more vividly you remember, the less you know. Each image you clutch, each sensation you relive, is a fabrication. Your mind, in its infinite creativity, turns fiction into nostalgia, sadness into longing, mistakes into lessons, and you, the unwitting witness, accept it all as your truth. Do not be comforted by memory. Do not be lulled by the familiar. The past is not a place you can return to. It is a shadow you drag with you, a phantom stitched into your skin, a narrative constantly rewritten. The only thing real is the act of confronting it, questioning it, tearing it apart to see what remains beneath. And when you do, you may find emptiness, you may find clarity, you may find both, but you will find the truth in all its merciless honesty. And now you are left with the fragments, the jagged pieces of your own illusions. You thought memory would be a lantern guiding you, but it is a shadow puppet, dancing on the walls of a cave you cannot escape. Each recollection you clutch is a trap, each remembered joy a mirage, each remembered pain a phantom sharper than any blade. You feel them all as real, and that is the brilliance of the deception. You are alive in the fiction, drowning in it, celebrating it, mourning it, as if it had ever truly existed outside the private theater of your mind. Consider the faces you loved, the voices you adored, the words you heard as absolutes. They have already changed. Every recollection you touch, every thought you insert into the memory, alters it irreversibly. Your brain is an artist and a butcher simultaneously. It sculpts beauty from the ruins of truth, and yet it stains its own creation with the grotesque you cling to. Nostalgia because it hurts less than the emptiness of reality. You pretend that memory is permanent because permanence is comforting, but permanence is a lie. Everything you believed is a reconstruction, a hallucination meticulously curated by your mind to shield you from chaos. And what of regret? How often have you replayed the same scenes, convinced that if you had acted differently, the outcome would have been salvation? But the past you remember never existed as you remember it. Every choice you think you can relive, every action you wish you could undo, has already been reshaped by perception. Regret is not about reality. It is about a fiction your mind manufactures to torment you. That suffering you feel, the ache you carry, is born not of what happened, but of what your imagination decided happened. And the irony is vicious. You torment yourself for lies, every day, for years, sometimes decades. You tell yourself, I will remember this moment forever. But you won't. What you will remember is a shadow, a half-truth, an echo altered by hunger, sleep, hormones, desire, and fear. And even if you write it down, even if you photograph it, even if you swear it will last, everything fades. The past is not a safe house. It is a shifting desert, a landscape of illusions that will devour every certainty. You wander it believing you are guided by memory. But in truth, you are guided by myth, the myth you call yourself. Ask yourself now, what of your identity is real? If your memories are malleable, if your recollections are inventions, if every story you tell yourself is a fabrication, then who are you beneath it all? Are you simply the sum of the fictions you believe? Or is there something untouched, something beyond reconstruction, lurking in the shadows? Perhaps the answer is frightening. Perhaps there is nothing but the performance, the act of remembering itself, and that the performance is endless, relentless, merciless. And yet, there is a perverse freedom in this realization. If memory is fiction, then the chains of the past are nothing but illusions. The mistakes you mourn, the failures you fear, the people you lost, they exist only as stories. And stories, no matter how vivid, can be rewritten. You are free to imagine them differently, to release them, to stop giving power to what never existed outside your own mind. You are free, terrifyingly free, to define yourself not by what you remember, but by what you choose to create in the now. Still, beware. This freedom is not comfort, it is responsibility. To confront the fiction of memory is to stand in a void where truth once seemed sacred. It is to see that your past, your identity, even your understanding of love and pain, has been a theater of shadows. And in that darkness, you cannot hide behind nostalgia, cannot escape into recollection, cannot seek safety in what you think you know. You must inhabit the void itself, embrace the raw uncertainty, and make a life unanchored by the lies your mind tells you. Do not pretend the process is painless. You will grieve the loss of certainty. You will mourn the collapse of the history you cherished. You will rage against the betrayal of your own mind. And yet, that rage, that grief, that confrontation is the only path to clarity. Memory has controlled you, shaped you, haunted you, but it cannot control you unless you let it. You have the power to step out of the scripts your neurons wrote for you, to abandon the fiction, to inhabit the present with full consciousness of its impermanence. And here is the final truth. The past does not define you. The recollection of it does not bind you. The people who shaped your memories, the events that scarred them, the joys you exaggerated or minimized, they have no dominion over you, except the dominion you grant them through belief. Memory is a prison, yes, but one that is imaginary. And once you recognize it as such, the bars fall away. Not quietly, not without pain, but they fall, and you stand trembling naked in the void of now, free for the first time to experience life unfiltered, unshaped, unremembered. Perhaps this is the cruelest honesty of all. The world outside your mind is indifferent to the stories you tell yourself. Reality does not care for the fiction of memory. Reality waits, patient and eternal, while your mind churns and edits and lies. And when you finally face that, when you stop clinging to shadows, when you stop bowing to ghosts, you will feel an abyss of clarity, a freedom sharper than any comfort you once knew. Memory cannot hurt you unless you submit. And now, standing at the edge, you are no longer a victim of the lies you were told. You are a witness, a participant, a creator. So go ahead, question it, break it down, rebuild it if you must, but never forget. Everything you think you remember is a fiction. Everything you have believed about the past is a story your mind told to keep you alive. And in the end, all that remains is what you choose to live, now, in the vivid, unrelenting present. Embrace it, fear it, and step into your life fully, unshackled by the illusions that have haunted you. For if you do, you may discover that what you feared to lose, the truth, is exactly what you were seeking all along. And when you are ready to confront the lies that have shaped you, to feel the liberation and terror of reality itself, remember this: Philospiral,